All right, we are back. Today we are doing Stylevana, day 8 through 14. Ooh, I see something from Isntree and it's purple. The Onion New Pair Gel Cream. I love the sunscreen in this line. Onion bulb extract may be anti-inflammatory. It's got niacinamide, good for redness, dark spots, hyperpigmentation, the moisture barrier. Panthenol is very moisturizing. And it's also got hyaluronic acid, sodium ascorbyl phosphates, a stable form of vitamin C, tranexamic acid, good for post-acne redness perhaps. Let's see what she looks like. Ooh. Kind of got a little bit of a purplish hue. Nice light gel cream. No fragrance. Moving on to day 9. All right, something from Round Lab. It's their sunscreen. I'm not mad to receive that. I love the Birch Juice Moisturizing Sunscreen. It is nice and hydrating, lightweight, beautiful packaging, and last week we got the sunscreen stick. So excited to have the actual cream, because like I pointed out in last weekend's vlog, the sticks are vulnerable to skip areas. Okay, moving on to day 10. What do we have here? Something from the brand Aromatica, a rosemary root enhancer. I'm guessing this is for the hair. It's a scalp nourishing tonic spray. Interesting. So it has rosemary leaf extract and rosemary leaf oil. The science behind rosemary oil for hair growth is pretty questionable. It is as effective as 2% minoxidil, which is not very effective. How does this work? Ooh, it's a spray. It's also got a bunch of fragrance in it, which could be irritating. Shake the bottle before use, spray onto scalp on the entire concerned area, massage with fingertips to help absorption. That one from E.l.f. that was so popular a couple of years ago, I tried that and the formula is way too viscous for my hair type. I have really fine, my hair strands are really fine, so anything that's the slightest bit oily looks super greasy on my hair. All right, moving on to day 11. Ooh, that root spray smells good, I will say. All right, this is from the brand Tokobo. I think I've seen this on TikTok. It's a nourishing lip balm. I haven't seen this product on TikTok, but I feel like I've seen this brand before. Come on out. Jojoba seed oil, vitamin E, meadow foam seed oil, and avocado oil. So emollients, it does have fragrance in it, possible lip irritant / allergen. Pantothenic acid is very moisturizing. Is it in focus? Probably not. There we go. All right, day 12, we have a bib, their Airy Sun Stick. I have been loving the barrier jelly mask from a bib. It's definitely a favorite of mine. The Airy Sun Stick is a chemical sunscreen, shouldn't leave a white cast. Doesn't appear to have any of the filters that are not approved for use in sunscreens in the US. But a stick formula nonetheless. It's a pretty sizable stick, I will say. SPF 50. Doesn't appear to have fragrance or any essential oils. That's a pretty interesting applicator. Feels a little stiff in the application, but now as I'm getting it on there, it's gliding on. I think it does have a little bit of a fragrance to it. I detect an aroma. All right, day 13, what do we got? Ooh, something from Hamish, a sunscreen. I love the brand Hamish. They have a cleansing balm, at least, that I've tried and really like, the All Clean Balm. This is an SPF 50 sunscreen. It does have fragrance. Artless Glow Base. It has niacinamide in it. Let's see. Is it a cream or? Comes out pink. Kind of a strong fragrance for my liking. Yeah, I don't like that scent. It's too strong. All right, and then last but not least for today is day 14. Moist Ampule Blusher. That's interesting, from Her. I don't think I've ever heard of Her before. The shade is Rose Brown. Ooh, that's pretty ample. So this is one of those skincare meets makeup products. Moisturizing ingredients. It does have alcohol in it, which might be a little drying for some, but kind of gives a powdery finish. Interesting nonetheless. All right guys, so we made it to day 14. Come back tomorrow and we'll do Yes Style. So I just finished filming a video in Costco. Didn't really look around outside of the skincare though. It was crowded in there. But I was listening to Spotify. I listened to in the car the radio, just to have radio, because radio stations, it'll be like the same 5 songs over and over again and so many commercials that it's like, I'm just gonna stick with Spotify. But I have Led Zeppelin radio on and I wish I could play it for you guys because, yeah, you know, I wonder with YouTube, like, we have the ability to play music on shorts and not, you know, be penalized. Whereas if I put even like 5 seconds of music in my long videos, their computer software will flag it and I'll get a claim or whatever. So I, like, a lot of times, for example, there'll be music playing in the background in a store. And it's kind of odd. Like, if I'm talking enough over it, it's fine. But if I pause what I'm saying, or if it's louder than I'm speaking, the computer, the AI or whatever, picks it up and flags it. So I've had to, like, what happens is I upload the video into YouTube, and then as I'm getting ready to do the back end stuff, then I'll get a flag. So rather than, at that point, it's like, well, then I have to go back into the video on my end, in my editing software, try and either mute that clip and put royalty-free music over it, or just cut it out, and then re-upload. So it's like, really, for 5 seconds of a song? And it's funny because the AI detects the music and it tells you what artist is playing in the background. And so I've had that happen a couple of times, but other times it doesn't seem as sensitive. I don't know. All that to say, on shorts, we're allowed to use non-royalty free music, like popular songs and stuff, and still have the shorts, be YouTube friendly and all of that. So because they now allow that, you know, whatever licensing dealio or whatever, it seems like they should allow us to play in our long form videos at least, I don't know, 30 seconds, I think would be fair, of music, you know, provided it's in their library, I guess, of what's allowed. Yeah, I feel like that, like, why can't they make, if they can make an exception for shorts, why can't they make an exception for long term, so I could play you guys some Led Zeppelin. Oh man, you guys, I don't know how I feel about this movie theater. I have a love-hate relationship with it. The Edwards 24 Cinema, I love it because inside is a whole vibe. I've taken you guys in there before. They've got all these murals that are something to look at with all of these paintings of celebrities. It's fun in there. And it's one of the few movie theaters that's accessible, that doesn't require a long drive. There just aren't that many movie theaters. It's one of the few, too, that is not like a restaurant movie theater. Those are kind of... I'd be fine with those if they weren't substantially more expensive for something that I never asked for, right? Like the ability to eat a hamburger and watch a movie. I get some people enjoying that, but I don't like eating in the dark. And yeah, I don't go to the movies to eat a meal. Anyway, all that backstory aside, the reason the hate part of the relationship is that they must be understaffed there, because sometimes the audio doesn't sync up with the talking in the movie. I mean, I've had issues with movies not playing right there and having to walk out and get my money back. All that backstory aside, you're like, what does this have to do with anything? They're redoing it. They're redoing the interior, which is part of the charm of that place. They're like, I hope they don't cover over all those fun murals with some corporate rage. You know what I mean? So yeah, now it's going to have another strike against it if it goes that route. I'm here in Barnes & Noble. Looks like Netflix is doing All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm suspicious. This book was so disturbing to me. It like gave me nightmares. I really like A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. That was a good one. Well, if it isn't the Christmas Opportunist Arctic Fox tradition, you guys know I am not a fan. You know, I think my skin has gotten a little bit softer since I have been using the salicylic acid products from E.l.f. So what I just did is I came in with the triple acid resurfacing serum. Then I did my tretinoin, and then I came on over with this lightweight green tinted moisturizer. So these both have salicylic acid. This product, if you missed the review, in my opinion, is a bit unnecessary. I only bought it, you know, to try it out and see how it is. It's good, albeit the niacinamide is on the high side, 10%, more likely to be irritating. The moisturizer, however, has 1% salicylic acid, great for smoothing the skin, great for exfoliating the pore, reducing comedone formation. It also has 4% niacinamide, a more reasonable evidence-based percentage. Higher isn't necessarily better. These products are really good for not only acne breakouts, but for kind of helping to improve the appearance of sort of post-acne marks, or the trajectory of them, like redness, dark spots. You know, post-acne erythema or post-inflammatory erythema, it can be kind of stubborn to tackle. Things that are done to improve that are pulse dye laser. That's one of the most solid ways to tackle that, along with oxymetazoline can help, and bromonidine, as can tranexamic acid applied topically can be helpful as well. And that's what's in these E.l.f. products. Now, tranexamic acid applied topically, more research is needed, but it definitely shows promise for redness. Orally, it's given to treat hyperpigmentation. All that to say, I've been pretty happy with this line. You know, it's reasonably priced. E.l.f. is killing it as far as both makeup and skincare. Even the drugstore skincare these days has gotten expensive. You know, E.l.f., when it first was a thing, the products were like $1. It's not inflation proof, but it's still managed. Oh man, I got water in my ear. It's like knocking around inside my ear. Kind of like static sound. And it'll come out. It'll feel like the floodgates have been opened. But I want to try, they have a sunscreen that is clear, colorless, that I've been wanting to try for a while now. I always mention it and then forget. But I love their Woe Glow tinted sunscreen. Oh, the other thing I put on too, that I've been staying consistent with, is the Cicaplast gel. I adore this. It's a skin protectant and it really does help keep my eyelids from getting dry and irritated by the salicylic acid in these products. Because normally when I use salicylic acid, it'll catch up to me and I'll get dry eyelids. I either use this one or the one from Prequel, which is pretty similar but different ingredients. This one from Prequel, in contrast to the La Roche-Posay, also has niacinamide. So when I use this, I'm really multi-dipping, if you will, going back in the chip dip multiple times without flipping the chip around, because I got a lot of niacinamide on my face, especially when I use this one. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend and that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for making it to the end. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.